Two visions of economic growth. Which political party will voters choose? We talked to the Globe's Jane Tabor about the New Brunswick election. Also, why natural gas is such a hot-button election issue. We look at fracking. I'm Afan Chaudhry. Welcome to Globe Now. Voters are deciding who should lead New Brunswick. What has become apparent is that the debate is about natural resources and what to do about them, in particular, the vast shale gas deposits underground. The Globe's Atlantic Bureau Chief, Jane Tabor, joins us now. Hi, Jane.
Hi there.
How have the two main political parties lined up on what to do about the shale gas deposits?
Well, it's been fascinating because there's been, in this election campaign, there's two clear choices about what to do about natural resources. The Progressive Conservative leader and Premier, who wants another term, David Alward, he has made this election, or tried to make this election, I think successfully, on a referendum on natural resource exploration, in particular exploring for shale gas and the issue of hydraulic fracturing, or as fracking as we call it. So he's really been pushing this. Let's go ahead. Let's become a have province like Saskatchewan, and then we've got the Liberal leader, Brian Gallant, a very young guy, 32 years old, a rookie, who has said that his party would have a moratorium on fracturing, on hydraulic fracturing, if he was elected and was able to form the government. And his play for jobs, because this election is all about jobs, his play for jobs is an infrastructure piece, $900 million over 6 years for infrastructure spending on roads and wharves and bridges and that sort of thing.
I mean, we'll see how voters decide, but what has been the debate among voters when it comes to fracking?
Well, it's been the same kind of debate that you hear across the country, and about the safety of it, about the procedure and the chemical infusion of getting the shale gas out of the ground. The problem in New Brunswick is that they are so desperate for some economic stimulus, for job creation. They're way behind. They're I think one of the lowest in Canada in employment, and they have really no natural resources like Newfoundland and Labrador and like out west. And so for the Tories, they need to get this economic piece in play. But then there are people in the province, just like in other parts of Canada, who are very concerned about, will this pollute the water resources? What will this do? And there's not enough known. And that's why the Liberals have said that they would have a moratorium until further study.
I mean, there was a time when the New Brunswick economy was seen as a success story, but not anymore. I mean, give me a snapshot about, what this natural gas development could mean for the New Brunswick economy.
It could mean, according to the Tories, and of course they also have the west to east pipeline in play that would take the bitumen down from Alberta to St. John to the refinery. So that's one of the pieces in play as well. But it could mean millions and millions and millions of dollars of private investment, says the Progressive Conservative leader. That's what he's hoping for. And there's also a piece of on the forestry, developing forestry as well, because there's lots of trees in New Brunswick. Before the New Brunswick economy, before under Frank McKenna, was successful because a bunch of call centers that came in, and the province became technologically savvy, but it wasn't doing a lot of the natural resources at that time. And now they're looking for something new, and they believe that that can happen with the fracking. So
if the Progressive Conservatives are re-elected, how soon could we see fracking in the province?
That's a really good point. It's right now there's a lot of seismic testing. There's a lot of exploration going on. So I'm not sure how fast some of that would happen, but apparently we hear that there's a lot of that underground, and the Tories want to get it out.
Okay, Jane, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, we want to hear from you. What do you think about fracking to unlock natural gas deposits in parts of Canada? Tweet us at Globe Now. Let's stay with the debate around shale gas. The New Brunswick election is a snapshot of the debate around shale gas and what to do about it. That's because of the controversial method of getting that gas out of the ground. Hydraulic fracturing, or fracking, has many opponents. But in parts of North America, there has been a shale gas revolution. To give us the big picture, we're joined by Sean McCarthy, our global energy reporter. We've reached him in Ottawa. Hi, Sean.
Hi, Fawn.
What has the shale gas development meant for parts of the United States?
Economically, it's been a huge boon. Pennsylvania was a Rust Belt state. Ohio. These were states that had lost a lot of manufacturing, had really suffered in the recession, and it's been billions of dollars into their economy. You know, not all of it is locally beneficial, but a lot of it is. And whether you're a restaurant or a hotel operator or state treasurer, it's been a great boon. Not to mention the fact that it's kept gas prices, heating natural gas prices down for people, and costs for industry. It's just, you know, you can see why so many people are keen to get the industry going. It's a huge domestic boost for the economy.
So what is the picture here in Canada?
Well, it's more mixed. There's not really. I mean, New Brunswick is really still trying to figure out whether they would even have a shale gas industry, you know, let alone how big it would be. Really, the hot spots are British Columbia is the big hot spot, Northeast BC, and if they can build export terminals to liquefy the natural gas and ship it to Asia, it will be a huge industry there. Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba are now using fracking, not just for natural gas, but for oil.
I mean, a big part of this story is the debate around the science and environmental impact of fracking. How has that debate been settled, if at all?
Well, it's not settled, and it's hugely divisive, and fracking has become a four-letter word. You know, people associate all kinds of evils with the process, and it is a very intense industrial way of going after resources. You're not just sticking a hole in the ground and out it comes. You're injecting chemically laced water into the formation deep underground. You have to make sure that your wells are properly sealed so that it doesn't leak. And then there's a lot of wastewater that comes back up, and you have to figure out how to deal with it.
But I mean, provinces like New Brunswick and Nova Scotia must be looking west at some of the other Canadian provinces that have really benefited from shale gas.
Yes, they looked not only west to Alberta and British Columbia, but south to Pennsylvania and other states to formulate what they would claim to be our leading the leading regulatory process out there. Of course, it all depends on how you enforce it, right? I mean, you can have the best regulations on the books, but if there's nobody out there enforcing the regulations, industry will begin to cut corners, and you'll start to have problems. So it's one thing to have the regulations, but it's hugely important that you have the enforcement mechanisms to back them up.
Okay, Sean, thank you so much.
All right, Afan, thanks.
Well, we want to hear from you. How much does your province's future depend on natural resource development, and how do you think that's being handled? Tweet us at Globe Now. I'm Afan Chaudhry. Thanks for watching.